Hey, I'm going to show you exactly how to decommoditize your company using your website, which actually makes selling way easier. Check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Logan Shinholzer, and I want to walk you through exactly what I mean when I say your website is now your digital storefront. So let's go ahead and rewind back a little bit. And before I jump into the actual websites and talk to you exactly how this is all set up, think about when you walk into, let's say, a department store. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's different sections. You know, you've got women's, men's, kids. If you're going into what used to be Sears, you're gonna have appliances there too. So there's so many different places in the store that you can go to buy something that it can get very, very confusing very quickly. We're used to walking in somewhere, getting a little bit of help maybe, and then checking out the prices, seeing what options they have, and kind of making a decision from there. Now, the big difference between a department store and how they operate versus you is they're really more of a commodity, meaning that, like this shirt that I'm wearing right now, this was like $12 at Target, right? And I'm sure JCPenney has their own version of it. I'm sure, you know, Nordstrom's probably has their own version. It's the same blue shirt effectively, but one's $12, one's $8, and one's $50. Here's what I mean. When they come into your website, your homepage really acts effectively as a directory at a mall. So when you walk into a mall, you're gonna eventually end up at the Apple store. It might take you all over the mall, second floor, third floor, first floor, back to the second floor, back to the first floor, but you finally get there. Not a great experience, and by the time you get to the Apple store, maybe you don't have time to buy whatever it is that you want because you want to shop around a little bit, but you spent 40 minutes walking around the store or the mall. You ended up getting sucked into another store, and you know your $1,000 budget where you just spent half of that at Nordstrom's buying 10 different blue t-shirts. So what this homepage acts as is that directory which guides them to exactly what they want. Now, if we don't guide people there, they're probably going to eventually get there, but it's going to create a negative experience for them. And if they only have a certain amount of time, or they just aren't super patient people for stuff like this, they want to feel guided, they're going to leave. So same way that you walk into a department store, they've got signs overhead and you know exactly where you want to go. So in this case, what we did was we gave people one of two options: either have a pond or you want one. They come on in and they have a couple different options. Do you want a new koi pond? Do you want a pondless waterfall, or do you want a fountain? Those are really your three options here. So now you're thinking to yourself as a homeowner, okay, it's kind of like walking in the men's section of the department store. Now you're in the men's section. Do you want shirts? Do you want pants? Or do you want shoes? Which one? And now I'm gonna go, okay, let's go new koi pond construction, AKA new shirts. Now what this does is this page, once you're in the new shirt department, it's gonna talk to you about the different shirts. Right? It's going to walk through some of the options. It's going to show a couple before and afters, maybe a nice little video, show a couple of the options. These are the quote unquote different shirts that you can buy. So that's what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to effectively show them some of the options that they can have. Now, part of what we also do is we also build it up where we talk about, why would you want this shirt? What is this shirt going to do for you? Like, I may look at this shirt and go, well, I'm just gonna wear this to work maybe. It's casual right now. Maybe I'll wear it out, but like, I don't need an expensive shirt. If what you can do with this site is actually show how much people are gonna use this, right? If you said, Logan, you're gonna get this shirt and you're gonna be able to go out and feel confident in meetings. You're gonna be able to go out, go to the bar and talk to anybody that you wanna talk to, all because you're wearing this special shirt. Now, I'm going, well, maybe it is worth more money. Maybe I will get the Nordstrom's version of this shirt versus the Target version. It's all about how do you set yourself up. If you're talking about a pond and you're talking about how to relax, or how to use it, how to really sit by it, right now you're the company that's evoking the emotion out of that person. If it's the exact same pond and the exact same shirt, how do they know the real difference? All right, so those are some things to think about. Is when you're designing your site, you're trying to figure out, you know, now that less people are going out and getting estimates, right? Because people are just getting more used to shopping online. Majority of people go online, the sale is made before they even call you. They've already pretty much made up their mind in their head that as long as the price is like reasonable, they're gonna move forward with you because of what you've done with your website. We add in some FAQs, commonly asked questions. What does a new koi pond cost? How long does it take? How large are they? How much maintenance is it? Right? These are like the top 4 most commonly asked questions that people want to know, and they're also reasons that people don't want to move forward. So what do? We just kind of base it around like a general principle. Fun fact, we built them for 80 grand before. They typically average 17. However, you can get it for 9. Leave it at that. So now they have a baseline. So if they're coming in going, well, I would love this pond for $2,000, it ain't gonna happen. And now they know that's not gonna happen. So that kind of weeds out a lot of those, they're not tire kickers, they're just people that they don't understand the true value of what you sell. You talk about the amazing stuff that you can do, create a perfect place to relax any time of the day. Enjoy more quality time with your family. Come home to the sound of a waterfall splashing into the pond. Like we're throwing visuals. So now it's not just a dead thing in the yard. It's something living, breathing, something that actually evokes emotion and connectivity amongst the family. So that's really the big part of this website, is that this is now the storefront. This is now how people buy these days. If your website does not look like Audi's or BMW's or Apple's as a contractor, you're actually losing way more clients than you think you are, because your true competitor is not always the contractor up the road. I want to walk you through Audi, the car company. I want to walk you through their website. Their price points for some of their cars are the same price points for remodeling projects. Let's walk through the Audi website and I'll show you what I mean. It looks nice. It's a very clean website. If you, as a contractor, hired somebody who's really good at SEO to build your website, they most likely put words and blocks of text all over the website, which is fine because it gets you near the top of Google, but they sacrifice all design. There's no sex appeal. You're getting a lot of people to your website, but are they really turning into buyers? So you have to ask yourself that question. Is with Audi, when you search for Audi, they have such a strong brand, they're gonna show up. So they don't need to fill this with text after text after text. They can use a lot of images and things like that. So they're at a huge advantage, but they also have a massive brand. So that's something to really consider. But let's just look at a page. Let's try sedans, okay? Let's just try this. 2020 RS3 sedan starting at $56,000. That's a solid kitchen, right? So first off, all the photos on this site are gonna be professional. I can't tell you how many people we work with that they say, I'm really high end, I want people to pay me for what I'm worth, but then they don't turn around and pay a photographer to actually take photos of their job. You see how weird that is? Is that they're not taking their own medicine. Right? So they complain when people are cheap out and go, oh, they're too cheap and this and that. But in fact, your brand and everything about you online shows that you're inexpensive as a contractor. So if you have professional photography, it's going to show that you're willing to spend money to hire a professional to do this, which means you're probably more expensive. So that's really some things you have to think about. So as we go through this site, it's laid out nice and neat, right? It has cool little design aspects. You click on it. It shows just all the different aspects of the car. It talks about, propelling design forward, does this, and this, explore design. There's not blocks of text about this. It just talks a little bit about this, and that's about it. You can go ahead and check out the car. If you want, you can play with it. Now, your website doesn't need to be this intense. You don't need to have a picture of a kitchen, and you can toggle between the different cabinet colors. But if it doesn't look professional, it's going to be very tough to convince somebody that spending money on a remodeling project is worth it over spending money on a car. Because a car, you can drive it to the gym, you can drive it to church, you can drive it to school, wherever you want, and it shows off to everybody your new purchase. Because when you buy something, a lot of it is status. A lot of it is showing, hey, look, like whether you want to admit it or not, I bought this. Right? If you didn't care about status, you just buy an old beat up car that looked terrible, but you care what people think about you. So when your site does not sell your service or product, it's very tough to get somebody to actually buy from you. Now, you may be thinking, well, my website, everybody who comes to my website is already sold on getting a kitchen or a bathroom or a paint, repainting, whatever. So all they need to do is know that I'm better than everybody else. And I've had people tell that to me, and I'm like, that's just not true. Because the amount of people that go to your website versus how many actually convert into a lead, there's a lot more just browsing. So they're not sold on the idea at all. So you need to actually sell them on the service or product first. Then you can sell them on your company being better. So what they're doing here, with Audi, if you notice, they're just talking about different aspects of the car. A powerful grip on you in the road. The lap and mind of luxury. Propelling design for it. Make it your own. Right? So what they're not doing is they're not saying, hey, we're the best car company in the world. Hey, we're better than Mercedes. Come to us. Right? We're better than BMW. Volvo sucks. They're not doing any of that stuff. What they're doing is they're hyping up the car because they want you to buy a car that has these features. Okay? So that's how they sell this thing, is they sell the product or the service, and then, eventually they'll sell themselves. Now they're coming over to locate your nearest dealer, which the dealer will typically then talk about the same aspects, but they'll also try to sell why their dealership is the best. When you're trying to sell to higher end clients, if your website and your stuff is not higher end, you're SOL. Don't try to sell a $100,000 product and go cheap on photos. Don't try to sell a $100,000 product and go cheap on just doing a yard sign. There's yard signs all around where I live, and they have high-end contractors, and they're high-end yard signs, right? They're on a nice wood post. The yard sign is out there for a few months. It's not cardboard, which a lot of people do, and it's a big mistake because when you put cardboard out there, you're going to attract the cardboard crowd. So I hope that helps, and this is not too out of the norm, and I hope you're understanding that what websites and what brands that your ideal client is used to is what they're hoping to expect out of you.